Rochelle. Welcome to my kitchen. Guess what? I forgot something. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it's me. I'm back. Rochelle, Legacy Home and Garden. Welcome to my kitchen. I have the day off, so I got my camera bag out and got my camera set up because I have a few extra apples from Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't have a ton of apples. I had probably 2.5 pounds of apples left. And I decided that today I wanted to learn how to make apple butter. I love apple butter. Not everybody does, but I do. And I thought this might be a good way to use up these apples and try something new. So I went to my Ball home preserving book. Excellent book. Excellent book. And I looked at all the items that I need. And I have everything. Now this recipe calls for sweet apple cider, okay? I'm not gonna use that. So if you read down in the recipe, it says that you can substitute water and increase the amount of sugar that you use. So that's what I'm gonna do because I don't have any sweet apple cider. But I have the sugar, I have cinnamon, I have cloves, and I have apples. Now this recipe called for 6 pounds of apples. Well, I don't have 6 pounds of apples. So I have about 2.5 pounds of apples. So what I did is I divided this recipe to coincide with the amount of apples I have. It's the first time I've ever done it. So it says that you start out by peeling and coring your apples and then cutting them up. Now I've already done that process. I've already peeled them, I've already cored them, and I've got them here in my pot. It says, I don't know if you've done it before, but if you haven't, I'm going to take you along on the process. It says we're going to put them in this pan, and then we're going to put in the water or the apple cider, which I'm not using, and we're going to bring it to a boil over high heat. So we're just going to put our water in here. Now I divided everything up, and I'm supposed to have 1.25 cups of water in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my water. Hopefully, I did my measurements right, okay? I asked Mr. Google Boy, because everything's worth a Google, right? So this says I'm gonna have 1.2. There's one. There's 2/3. I hope I did that right. Oh, no. Okay, so it says that I'm going to put this over high heat and bring it to a boil. So here we go. All right, so I have my apples on the stove in the water. I'm going to bring them to a high boil. Then it says we're going to turn the heat down and boil it gently, stirring occasionally until the apples are soft. They said this process should take about 30 minutes. So while this process is going on, I'm going to come over here and I am going to measure out the cinnamon, the sugar, and the cloves that I'm going to need, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. Where we are is I went ahead and did what they said and got these for 30 minutes going. Now I'm going to puree them, but I don't want them, what did they call it? You don't want it, let me move closer to my book. It says, put them in a different bowl. So I put them in here, apples and liquid. And then I want to puree until they're a uniform texture, it says. It says, do not liquefy. So I got this handy dandy little silver crest. It's got a metal blade here. So I'm just gonna, oh yeah. And so it's meshing them up real good because they're nice and soft. almost looks like an applesauce. But they're all getting, I'll show you. It went from chunks of apples. And you see that? Now, after we do this, it says we're going to put it back in the pan and add the cinnamon and the sugar and the cloves. So I can't really tell with this little thing how the texture is. So I'm going to just set that little, do that. Then I got a little slotted spoon here. Oh, that looks amazing. You guys, it actually looks like it could be applesauce. Look. Okay. That looks amazing. Oh, the smell of those is delicious. I bet this is how you do applesauce, huh? Oh, wow. Now, I used a variety of apples, so the taste is unbelievable. Okay, so the next step, it says put these back into the pot. So, here's the pot we used. It's still hot. I'm going to go ahead and pour that back in there. My pureed apples, as they call it. Puree. Guys, I'm so excited to be making this apple butter. Now, what I did too while I was gone, these last 30 minutes, is I got my canner going. And I'm going to need enough water in here to cover the jars. Now, I'm using the little pints, okay? Because I might give some of these as Christmas gifts. So this would be just perfect for sitting in a bath. So I've got my jars and my lids in the water getting warmed up and all that stuff. Now it says that we put it back in the pot. It says, let me bring them over here. I hope this isn't too crazy for you. It's my first time, and my husband's working on my outdoor kitchen, so things will be a little easier for me. I'm not sure. I've never made applesauce, but this looks like applesauce to me. Anyway, it says, put them back in here. Combine the apple puree, which is there, the sugar, which is here, and the cinnamon and cloves, which I measured out, which are here. Put those in there. And then it says, stir until the sugar is dissolved. Put it back on the stove and boil it. Boil gently until it gets thick and it holds the shape on a spoon. So we're going to put, oh, you guys, this smells wonderful. If nothing else, it'll make great applesauce, right? If I don't do it right. This looks great. So I am going to get this back on the stove. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to get this back on the stove. I'm boiling it gently and stirring it frequently until it gets thick and holds its shape on a spoon. Then, when that's done, we'll be ladling it into our jars and water bath canning it. So that's the next step. I'll bring you back. I'm so excited. Okay, what have I learned so far? I've learned that this is super simple. And maybe it's just me, but I also learned when I was like pureeing up those apples, this is good. Did it quickly. It says you can use a food processor. It also says that you can use any little small thing with a metal blade in it, okay? But I didn't want to dig those big pieces of equipment out. So I thought, well, I'll just grab this little doohickey here. I've only used it one other time. But I thought, well, I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I can always go to the bigger stuff, you know. But convenient, number one, super convenient. 2, worked like a charm. 3, easiest cleanup ever. So this is going to be my go-to for puree right now. I've also learned that I think it's easy to make applesauce. I'm not sure, but that kind of resembled applesauce to me. So I'm gonna look up a recipe and see. I bet that's it. I was gonna ask my mom because my mom made applesauce a lot, but anyway, where I'm at in the process, come on, I got this going on right here, and I'm just cooking it slow. And the reason that you do that is because it's going to, this boiling and what you're doing, it allows the moisture to evaporate. Actually, what it says right here, they're called butters. Okay, so cooking butters. And it says they're cooked over a medium to medium high heat. You don't want to scorch them, so you got to stir them frequently. And it also says that they get thick when they get to the doneness point. They said cooking times vary, of course, depending on the type of saucepan you're using. Now, this is something I didn't know. They said most butters will need 30 to 60 minutes of cooking time, and that they cook best in a wide mouth diameter, heavy stainless steel pot. The extended cooking time, which we're doing, allows the moisture to evaporate, thickening the fruit mixture and creating the spreadable buttery texture. So that's what we're trying to do, but that's how they describe it. I would just say we're cooking it medium heat till it gets to the, desired thickness we want. That's what I would say, but that's how they say it. And it is doing really good over here. Now you'll see I got a towel laid out, and this towel is for, and I got my scoop, okay, and I got this has a magnet on the end, and that'll help me take those, the lids out of the hot water, which are in the water bath canner right now, getting sterile. Hey guys, here's where we're at, just an update. When I left you last, we had put it on a medium to a medium high heat, and what that does is allow the moisture to evaporate out, and then it thickens, and I spit on myself, so I'm stirring it occasionally to keep it from scorching or getting a burnt taste to it, and it's not. And I can definitely see on the top, there was a lot of moisture on the very top when I started, and it was really thin. Now I can see that it's thickening, and the moisture on the top is less and less. So it's been about maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to keep on going for another 10 minutes. That'll be 30 minutes, and I'm going to keep on going and see what the consistency is then. I don't want my apple butter runny, but I don't want it super thick either. I kind of want it just right. This is my first time. So far, things are good. But I'll be back in a few minutes and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm at the point where the butters are ready. My sweet apple butter is ready. And they had a tip in here on how you know, and I wanted to share it with you. It says they're cooked until they're thick and they hold their shape in a spoon. To determine the doneness, and you take a spoon and take a small amount of the butter from the pan, you put it on a chilled plate, and if it holds its shape and it doesn't run and it forms a seal, or not a seal, but kind of like an edge around it, like this, can you see that? It's done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ladle it into our jars from the pot. I'm going to ladle it into my jars over here, and then I'm going to water bath can it. And it says, hold on, you put them in there, make sure they're covered completely with water. You bring the water to a boil and you process them for 10 minutes. Then you remove the can or lid, and be careful when you do that. Always take it back like that. Don't lift it like this. Don't lift it like that towards you. When you take that handle, you want to pull that lid this way so the steam goes that way, because steam can burn you, believe me. Then you're going to take the lid off. You're going to wait 5 minutes, and then you're going to take them out and cool them off. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, here's a couple of things that I wanted to know when I was making my apple butter. And so, how long is it gonna last? All right, so there's 3 different options you have. You can refrigerate it, you can leave it in your pantry, or you can freeze it. So if, I did some research and it says unopened apple butter can be kept for a very long period of time, 12 to 18 months on the pantry if it's cool and dry. If you refrigerate your apple butter, it can actually last a little bit longer than that. And if you freeze it, it should be good to up to 2 years. I don't intend to freeze mine. Now, as most things, once you open it and use it, you're going to want to refrigerate it. But you should be able to put your water bath canned apple butter. In my canner right now, I got about 7 minutes left on the processing. And then I'm going to set it over here and just let it set and cool. Then I will label it and put it in my pantry. But I had just a little bit left. Guys, this sit here, that I didn't have enough for the, look at that. And I'm telling you what, this stuff is so good. I had my daughter try it. She's not a big fan of apple butter, but even she liked it. So, I'll show you what they look like when I get them out of the canner. Okay guys, the timer just went off. It's been 10 minutes processing time. So now what I need to do is to turn the heat off, which I've just done. Now, I am going to take this lid off. But remember, open it away from your face. Okay? Make it, you see the steam rising here? If I wasn't wearing a mitt, I would also get that hot steam on my hand. So please protect yourself. Wow. Look at that. So now they are going to sit here for 5 minutes. They're just going to rest. After 5 minutes, I'm going to take them out and place them here to thoroughly cool and seal. We're almost there, guys. All right, all my little sweet apple butter making fans. We're ready to take these out. Again, I got my mitts. I got my thing here. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of scoot this a little closer to me. I have a rack in here with my jars on it. Okay, and I'm going to pull my rack up and set it like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, oh, I heard a pingy thing or something. These I got, but they're so stiff. I wonder if I'm using them right. I don't even know. I think I am. Let's see, I think I'm doing it like this. Okay. Just set these out. I hear little ping, ping. Number 2. Oh, did you see what I just did? I knocked that rack down. I didn't break any jars. Everything came rolling forward. Okay, we're going to leave it down because I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so I don't know how I did that or what, but when I rewatch this video, I'll see what I did that caused me to do that. So, here we go. Now I'm just going to let this cool off. Gonna let that cool off. But, ta-da. Now everything is gonna go ping, ping, ping as it sits here and cools. And I'm gonna let it cool really, really well. And also I have this towel down because they say you don't want to just set it on the countertop. You want to set it on something. So, I'll be recapping this process right about now. Oh, I'm a little, let's see if that's better. Extreme close up there. Okay, my thoughts on making sweet apple butter. Super simple, very easy, not a lot of ingredients. The book was very self-explanatory, and I tried to break down every step with you along the way. I hope that you try the recipe if you like apple butter. But I got it from the Ball book. Water bath canning was easy. If you just break it down, take it slow, and follow the steps if you're new at it, like me. But I would definitely do it again, and I am going to learn how to make applesauce. I think I was really close because my husband likes that with his mashed potatoes, and so I am going to learn how to do that next. But I hope you enjoyed this in the kitchen with me, making sweet apple butter. And if you read the book when you're preparing things, normally they have alternatives. Like I didn't have sweet, what did they call it? Sweet apple cider. So they said I could use water and sugar. So that's what I did. The taste is amazing. The texture is exactly what I wanted. Wasn't difficult to do, and I would definitely do it again. And I probably will be giving a couple of these away as in my Christmas baskets that I'm making to some folks that I know that like apple butter. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you learned something. I know I sure did. And good luck making your sweet apple butter.